Hi guys, this is me Sanchita and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to create this smoky eye look for hooded eyes. Hooded eyes basically means is when I look straight into the camera, you can see this flap kind of covers my eyelids, which means any eyeshadow that I apply on my lids gets covered by this flap. So I'm going to be walking you through how to create a smoky eye look if you have hooded eyes. So without any further ado, let's get started with the video. Also, my eyes look a bit red because I've got some allergies. Please don't mind that. First things first, I've got hooded eyes, which means if I look straight, I have this hood covering my eye. So anything that goes on my eyelid gets hidden by this hood on top. So I'm going to have to place my eyeshadows in a manner that shows up even when I open my eyelids. I'm going to start with concealing my eyelids, and the concealer that I'm going to be using today is from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer in the shade Golden Beige. This is how the packaging looks like. And I'm going to be placing that all over my eyelids. Now placing the concealer over my eyelids is just to ensure that the color pops out a bit more. Without the concealer, the colors don't seem to pop out as much as with the concealer, so I prefer doing it after the concealer. After putting on the concealer, I'll be setting this with powder. And for today, I'll be using Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 15 Light. I'll be setting this concealer with this powder so that my eyeshadows go on top of my eyelids much smoother. I've said this in my previous videos too. If I go directly in with my eyeshadows over the cream concealer, it will not blend out smoothly. But if I have set it with powder, there'll be a smooth base and the eyeshadows will go on top of it much smoother. Now moving straight on with the eyeshadow. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This has the perfect tones of browns and blacks that I'm looking for. It also has a bit of shimmers and glitters on the top rows, which I'll be using. I'll be taking this black eyeshadow on this kind of flat fluffy brush and placing it straight on my eyelids. So I'll be placing it only till where I can see my eyelids when I open it straight. I'm just packing the color in before blending. I'll repeat the same steps on this eye as well. When I open my eyes, I can see only till here, so I'll place this eyeshadow only till the crease. Now that I've placed the black eyeshadow, I'm going to take this lighter brown eyeshadow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this light brown eyeshadow and start blending it from the crease till this part where I can see the eyeshadow reappearing again. So I'm just blending it in. Now because of all that blending, naturally I lost some of the black, so I'm going to go in back with the black and place it again to intensify the color. Now I know this is not at all looking complete, but please trust the process. I'm going to be completing my base and then I'll be coming back to the eyes. For the base, I'm going to be first using this Iconic London Illuminator before I use a foundation, just for that glow, because I like a glowy base. I'm going to be using this same concealer and placing it under my eyes and all over my face wherever I feel it's necessary. Right now it's all over my face. And yes, this is a bit yellow, but after oxidizing it kind of matches my skin tone. And then I'm going to be using this foundation from Anastasia again. This is in the shade 305N. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I went with the concealer first because first of all it's a bit yellow, so it cancels out the darkness I had under my eyes. My foundation is done and I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer and bronze my face a little bit. To set all of this in place, I'm going to be using the same powder that I was using before, which is from Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm going to take it on this pizza puff. I'm just taking it right from the container, and then I'll even it out on the back of my hand. I'll even out the lines under my eyes as well so that I don't set the lines. I'll just even it out with my fingers and then I'll set it. Again, evening out all the lines that settled in the creases so that I don't set while I use the powder, and then I go in with the powder. Next, I'll be using this blush from Wet n Wild, which is in the shade Mellow Wine, and just take a big fluffy brush and swirl it around in the pan, tap it off and place it on my cheeks. I'm using this shade because this is kind of that nude blush because I already have bold eyes for today. So I'm using this kind of nude blush so that it doesn't overpower the makeup and make me look like a clown. Now for the remainder of the eyes, I'm again going in with this black eyeshadow and placing it on my lower lash line. I forgot to put the kajal before that, so I'm going to be using this kajal from Nykaa. Now I'm taking the same light brown eyeshadow and I'll blend the black eyeshadow. For the inner corners, I'm going to be using this highlighter from Rimmel London, and this is the Highlight Buttery Soft Highlighting Powder in the shade 002 Candlelit, and I'm going to be using this to highlight the inner corners of my eyes and also the brow bone. I'm going to be using the same highlighter to highlight the high points of my face, like my nose. And also my cheekbones. And now I'll set all of this with a setting spray before moving further. I use the NYX Professional Dewy Setting Spray. For my lips, I'm going to be using these two products for today. Lip liner I'm going to be using is the Faye lip liner in the shade Hardline, and the lipstick is from Nykaa, which is Matte to Last in the shade 01 Bombay. I'm going to start with lining my lips slightly. And I'll just take this lipstick and place it on the insides. I'll be using this mascara from Stays 929. This is the All Eyes on You Volumizing Plus Waterproof Mascara. This is their tubing mascara, and I've been raving about this mascara a lot in my videos. This is a tubing mascara, which means it comes off easily with water, but it does not transfer throughout the day. And this has become a drill in all of my videos. Please let it dry before you take it off. This is the look all completed. If you'd like, you can skip the lenses and the lashes. I just prefer it that way because it elevates the look a lot. So this is how you do a smoky eye look even when you have hooded eyes. You can see how a bit of the brown and the black is peeking through without it looking like I have panda eyes. The rest of the makeup is kind of simple, however, it still complements the eyes. That is it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next one.